What's up, guys? Faruqi Bros here, back with another video. And as we end 2022, I wanted to look back at various different genres and mediums and discuss our favorites of the year. So I wanted to do this video and focus on animes of the year. So, I'll be the first to admit I'm not like a huge anime buff where I'm watching, 10, 12 animes, but I do keep an eye on the big ones. And I want to kind of circle through some of our thoughts with the few biggest ones that we've seen. And then ultimately, each of us have to choose our one favorite anime season of the year. So I'm going to start roughly chronological order. I hope I got the chronological order right. But I think the first anime that came out this year that all of us saw was Attack on Titan season 4, part 2. So Attack on Titan that came out in January ran through about, I think, mid March before it tailed off, and now the final episodes will be coming out then. I think this season for me has been just absolutely fantastic from a writing standpoint, from a voice acting standpoint. I've heard a lot of the, and I'm sure Samir's going to talk about it, about the animation not being quite as high as it could have been. I did see there were some issues even in this season where it didn't look as good as it could have looked, especially given the kind of the studio's well-known quality standard that they themselves operate on. But I thought everything else from a story standpoint, from an animation standpoint, from a voice acting standpoint was absolutely fantastic. I recently rewatched the season with my wife, so I got an even more fresh understanding of how brilliant the show is as a totality. So, and by far one of the best episodes easily for me was the one where Eren and Zeke go back and they relive Grisha's memories, and you find out that Eren, using the power of the Attack Titan, was influencing Grisha, which I think probably one of my favorite plot twists in any fiction. So it was just one of my favorite things. So for me, Attack on Titan was absolutely great, and I can't wait for it to keep going. It was a great start to the year. Zion, what about you? What were your thoughts on Attack on Titan, the last batch of episodes that we got this year?
I think I pretty much agree on every single point you made. I think it had some of the strongest writing in the series thus far. I don't know how many episodes, like around 100. I don't think it reached 100 though, unless it did. But I think season 4, part 2 had some of the strongest writing. And like you mentioned, those episodes where it was Eren and Zeke, and really any Eren-focused episode, which were more this part than the first part, they were really some of the best episodes in not only this anime, but anime in general. And I think it's a very high bar now for them to come back and now end it like strongly anime wise. And obviously manga's ended, but I'm an anime only watcher, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it ends, and hopefully it does justice, because I know we're gonna get to the other animes as well, because some other shows also ended this year. So it's hard to sometimes compare the whole run of something compared to just part of something, because really how important is the end, and how if they ended strong, that is a lot of value to that than compared to them ending it poorly and it's starting off strong. So it's hard to say, but just in terms of pure writing, I think Attack on Titan really is like the apex in anime.
Well, Samir, you're the one who kind of put us on Attack on Titan, so we'll give you credit for it. You were on this train for multiple years now. So how did this season compare to some of your favorites, and overall in this year as well?
I think this batch of episodes was great. The writing is obviously amazing. Attack on Titan is peak. It's not done yet. Obviously, the anime, we still have probably 12 more episodes or something.
Yeah.
But this batch of episodes were great. Obviously, there's the big thing with the animation. Mappa is known for their great animation for all their animes, but it was really lacking for this one. I know they're taking extra long to release the next batch of episodes, so hopefully they do it way better. Because this was not, the CGI Titans are just not doing it for me.
I mean, I can see they had to kind of CGI the rumbling to the best of their ability. I mean, you've seen other anime do bigger action sequences, fully drawn out, but I think with budget constraints plus whatever time constraint that they had to get this out the door, even they have taken 1 year per batch. I feel like the season 1 to 2 batch was at least 9 to 10 months. I mean, the part 1 and part 2 of the last season took 9 to 10 months. This one's going to take a full year, a year and a half even. So I do think they're taking the time. So I expected a little better quality than we got, especially given the next the next anime we're going to discuss. I feel like it just could have been a little better. So that's how it is. But still, I would give it, I still give it 4.5 out of 5. I don't know. I wasn't even thinking of asking you guys for the ranking. Just keep your thought in mind of Attack on Titan, because the next one I want to punch as we keep going is Demon Slayer, the Entertainment District arc. So this is following the 2021 movie for the Mugen Train. And now we're at Entertainment District. I'll go first again. I think that this season was actually a sizable step down from the first half. I think season one felt there's only so fresh a show in anime can get, but this it felt fresh. It felt interesting. The characters felt very good in the first season. And I think the Mugen Train arc / movie, it did a good job extending that. I thought the first 4 to 5 episodes of this arc, Entertainment District, were quite poor, and so it didn't really grab into me. It was a lot more humor, which is fine, but it wasn't hitting me like the first season did. But I will say it ended off on an incredible note. The last 3 episodes were great. I know they announced that the last 2 episodes are going to be made into a movie alongside the first 2 episodes of the next season coming out in theaters next year, this 2023. So they do feel our pride in it, and I think in this case, where Attack on Titan is peak writing, peak storytelling, Demon Slayer from an animation perspective, I think is peak this year. They just continue to do great things from an animated standpoint. Everything looks crisp and smooth, and the fight scenes feel good. The voice acting is all good. I just think the story in this case was lacking just a bit compared to some of the other animes that we watched this year. So that's my thoughts on it. But overall, I liked it too. Zion, what do you think about Demon Slayer? Of course, I'm repping the Demon Slayer shirt, so I'm a fan. But I just expect even higher quality. I'm hoping the third one, which is called the Sword Master Village arc or Sword Smith Village arc, something like that, is coming next year. So I'm excited for that as well. So Zion, what did you think about Demon Slayer?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, when you're comparing, it's hard because the season one had its full 22, 20, 25 episodes. I forgot how many exactly, and this one was cut in half because they redid the movie into episodes, which I thought was kind of annoying. I'm not sure why they chose to do this, especially when you made the movie and it's so super successful. All right, just pump out the new content, but they chose to revisit it, kind of like Dragon Ball Super, and we know how that turned out. And though at least the quality-wise of animation, stuff like that was still on par, I thought that kind of was a waste of just resources and just potential where you could have maybe done this season a little better or even expanded a little bit in some ways. But I guess since we only have a very small sample size for the actual new content of the Entertainment District arc, I agree with pretty much all your points that it started off kind of weak. And like you said, it was more comedic in tone. And it just kind of didn't feel as great as season one did. But then when it really picked up right in the middle, it kind of just kept going till the end pretty strong. And like you said, the animation, especially towards those final episodes, were super crisp and probably I think the best of this year in my opinion. I know Chainsaw Man is also pretty good in animation, but I think just some of those final episodes of Demon Slayer Entertainment District arc, the animation was just extremely crisp, and hopefully we see that continue more in that quality wise in the next part.
Yeah, Samir, I mean, you can just jump in right from there. I mean, do you agree, disagree? Where does the Demon Slayer Entertainment District arc fall on for you across all the 3 metrics we talked about: voice acting, storyline, and animation?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with the part about how they shouldn't have. Or I feel like they shouldn't have put the movie into the first 8 episodes of the series of the season. First of all, the movie took a billion years to even get to us, and then when season 2 came out, it was we had to wait another 8 episodes for them to actually get to the new content. Even though the first episode sort of started differently, the way it shifted into the movie, but I still feel like that was kind of unnecessary because we already saw what happens right after in the movie. But from there, overall, I think it was a great season. Some of it was too much comedic aspects, I think, like Zion said. But I think the way they handled Tanjiro's arc and connected it to the movie, I think that was done really well. And the animation, obviously, is some of the best animation I've ever seen from any show.
Yeah,
maybe the best animation from any show.
Yeah. I think I'm on point with that. In the end, I don't know how. I still don't think it's the number one for me this year, but I think it was a good train moving. I think based on how long the manga went for, I think they have a good 3-4 seasons left in them. I think Demon Slayer is going to keep going for a little bit longer as we move forward. But while Demon Slayer is still in the beginning of their run, there is another anime that's ended its run. Well, not really ended, but ended one saga of its run, and that's JoJo Part 7. Part 6. JoJo Part 6 Stone Ocean finally ended its final batch of episodes on Netflix. It dropped, I think, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. But end of an era, really. Similar to Attack on Titan, you're wrapping up something that started, almost 10 years ago. I think for JoJo, it's been exactly 10 years to the day that JoJo Part 6 first episode released the same day that the last episode of Part 1 released. So it's all kind of coming together quite nicely, quite cyclically, which Araki is actually does very well himself. So my thoughts on Part 6 of JoJo, I think it's absolutely fantastic. This is funny because once again, now we're doing the same thing of story, animation, and voice acting. I think story is 10 out of 10. I think voice acting is 10 out of 10. Animation here sometimes could be a little rigid, not absolutely perfect, still good. Maybe not the best animation of JoJo, but still good, And then I don't know. There's this guy too who just joined in. I mean, I don't know what's going on here, but his name is The Real Samir, apparently. So, The Real Samir, before I go, what's your favorite anime of the year? Can you?
My favorite anime, whatever it is, of the year is what's the one with Aaron? Attack on Titan or whatever.
Attack on Titan, yeah.
Look at me, I'm Samir. I love Aaron.
Well, good. Thank you, Real
Goofy.
Samir, for your thoughts.
I'm goofy. I got less lighting in my room because I'm like, I don't know, because the Robert Pattinson Batman. I don't know what I'm saying.
Hi. Well, thanks for your thoughts on that, Real Samir. I really appreciate it. But for me, like I was saying, JoJo, just absolutely fantastic. Animation could have been a little better. I thought the ending was just beautiful, beautifully told. That credit goes to Araki more than the animation team. Obviously, they put it together, but he put it together from his brain. But I think overall, I felt very satisfied by the ending. But I'll give Netflix credit and the studio credit at large, Warner Bros. Japan. They did an incredible job weaving in from their ending credit and opening credit, putting things together, doing a great homage to all that came before us. I was very satisfied, which is quite rare for these big franchises, that getting a good ending is so hard to find. And TBD for Attack on Titan if it holds up to that. But I was very happy with JoJo's ending, despite it not being the happiest ending. Zion, what do you think about JoJo Part 6? How'd you feel about it?
I definitely thought it was some of the best JoJo we got. In my personal rank of JoJo, I put it as my second favorite one. And definitely the ending and just how it all plays into that. I think just on an episodic format, I don't think it was perfect every episode, but overall the story was really amazing. I thought Pucci is one of the best villains. I think he'd be second. Obviously, Dio would be number one, but I think I put Pucci as the second best villain of the series, and clearly because he also semi-wins. He does it good to the Joestar family, which is obviously ending-wise is a bittersweet ending, and but it really does wrap up everything so amazingly. And it's like, okay, this chapter of JoJo is now done. You've been following it since the beginning, since Part 1 through all these generations of JoJo's from Jonathan onward. So I think it really did wrap it well. And like you said, the intro and outro, Netflix and studio did a great job paying respect to, okay, this was the legacy of JoJo throughout the years. And I think that overall it was just a really great series. And on your animation point, I think for JoJo specifically, it's hard to really say, though. Obviously, you can tell sometimes when the animation is a little weaker, but because it has such a distinctive style, which a lot of animes they can't really say they do. They're more generically anime style. But JoJo and Araki is such a unique style to its animation that what could be perceived as, oh, it's poor animation is not really the case. It's more that this is just the style of JoJo, and it's just being true to that. So I don't really knock it too much for any of the animation mistakes that could have slipped in here and there. But overall, I think it was just an amazing series. And I sometimes I question, would it be even more exciting if it released weekly on a weekly format? But I'm glad just get to see it all at once too. So
no,
it was overall great.
I will flag before I go to Samir. I'm going to share my screen and just show this animation, I shouldn't get copyrighted for this, only 5 seconds, but this shot was really nice. And I think I thought they put their hero shot. Obviously, this is spoiler alert. This is Jolene's death scene, pretty much. And I think this.
See this thing. You didn't even have to say that. You know,
I want to say, but and I know up to this point, I wasn't catching my mic. So if my audio is better now, it's because I'm finally on the right mic. But this shot, absolutely incredible. I really liked it. So there are moments where this anime is beautifully thing, as Umar is now showing his face on screen. Also, look at this guy, yo. He's like, I don't know, he's at a party or something. He's wilding. But and then just the ending stuff. Going through all the whole Joestar family part by part. I think did a very good job. So I'm going through my own likes, but this is just wanted to quickly touch on like the ending before I jump back to Samir. So let me close the share screen. So now, Samir, with that in mind, I'm going to you now. What did you think about JoJo Part 6?
I'm glad you showed that clip because I feel the argument for like it could be stylized. I think that's fine, but this animation shows that it can be both stylized and really good animation. I think a lot of it was kind of lackluster, and that's not even talking about the other batch of episodes for this part. Do you hear that? All right. I think this was the best. One sec. I think this was the best batch of episodes we got for part 6. I don't know if that's just because of the. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah,
you said that this batch of episodes was the best in part 6.
This batch of episodes was the best. I don't know if that's just because of recency bias or just because the ending was so good. I know it was a really controversial ending, so I'm glad that they pulled it off really well. I think the animation for the ending, like the Made in Heaven part, they focus more on that, obviously. So I'm fine with some of the rest not being as great. I think the animation for when he spins back time or when he spins time, the whole world resets. That was really well done. There's like a random 5-second shot of Emporio just moving, and it's really animated really well for no reason. But I think this was the best. It's such a legacy anime, so the ending it hits even harder knowing what happens and seeing part 3 JoJo and part 6 JoJo together, and they both suffered the same fate. Even though he's not in the last shot. I don't know if he's supposed to be. I don't really get it. Is he still alive?
You're muted.
Who are you talking about?
Jotaro.
Oh no, wasn't he always? I think what they added in the last shot was Foo Fighters.
Yeah. No, I'm saying was he alive after they reset the world?
Yeah, well, they all got remade into
she mentioned it, like Irene the fake Jolene. She mentioned that
her
they're gonna go see her dad or something.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Yeah, so my reaction.
He was too busy holding back the tears that he missed it.
Yeah, pretty much. So this is my picture for this one. I'm going to go with Kyutaro, as I've heard his name is now. I heard that's his name. I was like, I researched Kyutaro on Twitter. That's his name,
Like the best thing they did was play roundabout at the end.
Yeah, that was
so good.
That was a beautiful touch. Yeah, I think. I was definitely moved because Araki as a writer, he doesn't rely on nostalgia at all. Like to his credit, he's really not a nostalgia baiter. He wants to keep things fresh, and he's always challenging himself. And one of the reasons he even chose to reboot was because he felt like he creatively reached his limit, and he also felt like his stands were getting more and more OP. And really, like with Made in Heaven, like if you look at Made in Heaven or you look at what's it called, Golden Experience Requiem, like you don't get more powerful than these stands. And if you look at part 7, which is going to be coming out maybe in a few years, I heard they're taking a little bit of a break, but when part 7 comes out, a lot of the stands are it's back to being kind of low-key stands again, so they can have more fun and do more creative stands, but not necessarily the most OP stands. Not to say that there aren't OP stands. Those who know the story, there are very OP stands in that anime, in that manga, but he wants to reset it, and you can tell everything here is really like it's bigger than it's ever been, and back when Jonathan was fighting Dio in part 1, it was just like it was a big deal that Dio was a vampire, and now you have a guy who's like resetting universes. So like it's gone quite a ways, and the journey's come quite a ways. That's why when Roundabout played, I was like, yes, like it's come full circle. And well, literally the song, it's a roundabout. You kind of like made a circle. It's very nice, and now we're getting a rebooted Jonathan next time. But yeah. So we've all done our big anime. I don't know if you want to give a few minutes on Chainsaw Man, Zion and Samir. I haven't got a chance to get into it. Quick, like 1 or 2 sentences. How do you feel it stacks up on the same criteria we've been saying? Animation, story, voice acting. How does it stack up? Samir, you can go first if you want.
So far, I think it's been pretty good. A lot of the scenes are kind of sus. But for the kids that watch this, I wouldn't recommend watching it, if I'm being honest. But from a story sense, it's like 9 episodes in. It's pretty good so far. I think it's gonna get better. I know I've seen some stuff because the spoilers everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
So I know it's gonna get better, even better. So I'm looking forward to it, and the animation is really nice.
So I've not seen anything since I'm not connected to any anime social anything, Twitter, Instagram, whatever's. But I'll take your word for it that it gets better. It gives me hope because it started off as Midsommar Man, but it really did pick up story-wise these last 2 episodes where they just like kicked off into high gear, and now it's like, okay, crazy and more interesting things are happening in the story in terms of the characters and everything. So now I'm more invested and actually like interested in seeing what's going to happen going forward. So yeah, that's exactly what I was watching those first couple episodes where Samir mentioned all like the stuff going on.
No, I agree. It did start kind of mid, which is weird because it's actually pretty popular. Like, I assume it's gonna be good beyond that stuff, but now it's looking like it is. So,
yeah. But as far as the animation, it actually is very crisp. Like, yeah, Mappa can do it well. Mappa's doing the animation, right?
Yeah.
For this? Yeah. So it's like, if only they put this much, effort into Attack on Titan, but
the same way with JJK, like they put so much effort in these new animes that they put their hands in, like JJK, now Chainsaw Man, and apparently they got the rights to One Punch Man season 3. So like if they're doing these many things, you can only hope that Attack on Titan gets that same respect,
Also, all the outros are like, most of the outros are sick, so they do a good job on the outros.
Is it kind of a waste to have a different outro every time? Like, why are they animating a new one every time?
I don't know, but let's say Umar shouldn't watch Chainsaw Man. That's the big thing.
It's not for
Maybe I will.
No, don't do it.
Not for you.
We're not gonna allow it.
Because you said that, I will.
You would.
Boo, you can just watch. I mean, Umar, you can just watch Black Adam. That's it.
Black Adam for you. Just keep watching and repeat.
Bro, I'm not watching Samir's favorite movie ever.
That Poochie shot you showed was literally the Black Adam shot where he's flying in the air.
Yeah.
Why do you have to take a good thing and ruin it?
He left because he said Black Adam. All right, so now we're at the final cusp of this like topic because I'm gonna make everyone choose, the 3 of us at least, what was the best anime and best season. Because of course, if it's JoJo, you can't look at the totality. You have to look at just this batch of 2022. And if 2 batches came out in 2022, then you look at 2 batches. But and for Attack on Titan, you can only look at the last batch of season 4. And for Demon Slayer, you can only look at the Entertainment District arc. So, and then Chainsaw Man, if you guys want to throw it in for yourself, you can surprise me and you can choose that as well. So those are your options. Zion, what is the best anime of 2022 to you?
For me, it was Attack on Titan, season 4, part 2. I think just weekly, just remember watching. I was like, every time that the credits were rolling and watch the credits was also very sick. I was like, oh, now it's gotta wait this whole week to see what's gonna happen next. And like, just that feeling was so much fun and exciting to watch it weekly. And I think just the writing wise and story wise, I was just so invested in it. And so just for me personally, I'd put that number 1, though JoJo would not be far behind.
I've been struggling with this because I want to say JoJo, but it could be recency bias. I want to say JoJo because the Weather Report arc, the 2 episodes of Weather Report, which includes the Poochie and his origin story, and then the final batch of Made in Heaven, thematically and from an entertainment value, I think were really, really fun, and I really enjoyed it. And then Attack on Titan has its ups and downs, but in the singular 2 episodes of Grisha's memories going back in time, and then not going back in time, but kind of like seeing his memories, and then the From You 2,000 years ago, the one where you see Ymir's storyline. That batch of 2-3 episodes, I think, is peak. So I don't think even JoJo's best hit that best. But we're not comparing episode to episode. So maybe for the point of distinction, I might just give it to JoJo, the last leg of episodes. That I don't think there was a bad one. Maybe the Bohemian Rhapsody episodes weren't great. They were okay. The Stand was good. I like the Da Vinci sequence, but I guess it was kind of fillery in some ways. So if you take that out, then it's pretty good. I don't know.
Because they're one of the most like convoluted garbage way. They always pull out something crazy out of that.
That's why I like it. It's always like fun to me. And it's like I imagined my own superhero who could just stop your stand. He did it. Oh, that's nice. And then I like the other guy too. Sky Guy. Sky Guy. So it was all good. So I don't know. I'm conflicted.
But to be honest, Sky Guy was the worst one.
No, Bohemian Rhapsody was worse than Sky Guy.
Sky Guy was like a boring villain.
All right, so then you know what? I'll give it Attack on Titan also.
No, you can't switch now. You have to.
JoJo. I'll give it to JoJo. Because the weather episodes in the last episode are sick, and I like how in the manga there is no dialogue that Jolene says to Jotaro when Jotaro dies. It happens really quickly. So the anime, they added dialogue where she's like remembering how her father will always save her when the time comes, and he did his last thing to save her. Very poetic. So I'll be giving it to JoJo Part 6. Now, Samir, say you like Chainsaw Man. Let's call it a day.
I'm gonna give it to Attack on Titan. Just the writing is so good.
Yeah,
it's just such a good show overall. I like JoJo. It's a close second, but the first three, like Sons of Dio or whatever, I don't even know if they're actually his son. Then
they are. Yeah,
it kind of ruins it for me a little bit. I'm like,
they are his sons. Yeah, they'll have the Joestar.
Like they're all so mid.
Wait, how are all of them in Florida, but like Giorno is like in Italy or something?
He called him, didn't he? His birthmark was like attracting them to come to him.
Oh yeah, that was
the whole gravity thing. Yeah,
except Giorno. Like,
so Giorno was like the least. I don't know. Maybe
Giorno's immune to like
he was mid fight. It all happened very quickly. I was thinking, because why didn't Giorno come to help? This guy had a center of gravity. No one could come to him. So it kind of built in why Josuke and Giorno can't show up. Like even if they took a plane to help at the same time, it's a long flight, number one. And number two, they're not going to get there in time because the gravity is on the way. They got to get on a plane, bro. They can't teleport. One guy's in Japan, one guy's in Italy.
Yeah, but they got the Sons of Dio like before that even happened. So Giorno could have just pulled up then, but
no, but he didn't know the danger, bro.
He had to stockpile of Dio.
The earliest he would have known. The earliest he would have known from a story standpoint. I know we're kind of getting off track, but the earliest he could have known is when the TV report was saying that Made in Heaven's happening. At that point, he can't get there. Like it's too late. So if he was noticing that time is going quickly, it's too late for him to do anything about it. Even if he himself was safe, if he started using Requiem to save himself, he can't even because Pucci's stand is not to kill anyone. It's just to increase time. And I think Giorno's stand is only to protect himself. So if he himself is not aging, he's not going to get affected. So his stand won't even operate. So he just kind of trumped him that way, And Josuke, same thing. He can heal everyone, but there's nothing to heal. So that's what I'm saying. And Joseph's probably probably dead, or he's a 100-year-old man. I don't know if Joseph's alive at part 6.
I doubt it.
Yeah, so there you go. So none of the JoJos could have helped.
It's kind of a strange loophole because like in the reality where like the first one where Emporio's there with Pucci before he got killed, and it's like the fake Jotaro and the fake Jolene.
Yeah,
there would be the real Giorno, real Josuke, real Jonathan still running around doing stuff because they didn't die in the original timeline.
But we're back in the jail time where there was no big crisis, so they would just be operating their lives as normal.
Yeah, but they would exist in the universe like as people.
The Joestars would have been completely wiped out,
No, but didn't they say maybe not in the show, but Araki said that this new universe is if the Joestars were never impacted by Dio, which means this is a version of events that Dio never moved in with Jonathan back in the day. And then how if there was never a Stone Mask arc and Jonathan never died and everything kept going still as normal, then this is the reality of events.
Is that what happens? I feel like that's not what happens.
But that also doesn't add up because he needed that to happen to become a vampire with the Stone Mask.
Yeah, that never happened.
Then all go down the road and meet Pucci in the thing.
Yeah, but there's no Pucci there. This is a universe where the Joestar bloodline was never impacted by fight. That's why he said that. That's what Araki said in the interview. He said that more specifically that this is a version of time where the Joestars were never burdened with their family need to like save or be in conflict with Dio. You know, like if they weren't impacted by Dio, this is how life would be. They have all different names then. So like Jotaro never named his daughter Jolene, or his wife never named his daughter Jolene. They named her Irene, and maybe his name is not like maybe he doesn't have a J in his name either. Maybe something else. Maybe he is Kyutaro. We don't know. How do we know? So anything's possible, you know. All I know is that Weza is the GOAT. Weza.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
he did end up being the GOAT because like his stand won it all. Yeah.
Some of the backstory, is kind of rocky, but
rocky backstory. But and I don't know why
his backstory are rocky.
also, I don't get why they censored the KKK stuff.
I'm very surprised too. Also, why is he wearing like a winter hat in like Florida?
It's not a hat; it's his hair.
Oh,
wait, is it there? No, in the backstory was his hair, but now he's not. Now he's wearing a hat, right?
Yeah, now he's wearing a hat for sure.
Now he's wearing a hat because there's like a thing on it. There's like a thing on top.
It's a hat. Okay, it's a hat.
It's a hat now.
Yeah, he's wearing a big
because it looked somewhat similar in like the past sequences, except it was just longer. And maybe now he's got a haircut. Yeah.
I feel like there should have been a little more dialogue between Weather and Pucci in the. They did talk, but like I feel like there should have been a little more.
Yeah,
they didn't talk enough. They didn't talk enough that they were like actually brothers and family.
Yeah, so it should have come more. But I like how Emporio by putting the disc in his head, like the shot where both Weather and Jolene are side by side was sick because Jolene, she died never really knowing what's gonna happen. You know, I mean, she trusted Pucci to do it, but
yeah,
she trusted Emporio to take it home. Either way, that's my thoughts. I picked that. So we have 2 Attack on Titans, 1 JoJo, no Chainsaw Man, no Demon Slayer. Maybe next year one of them will come up.
They're all peak in their own way.
I don't think Demon Slayer was peak this year.
Animation.
Animation was peak, but not. I feel like it was kind of a letdown season compared to season 1, and even compared to the Mugen Train movie. That's just me. I heard Netflix said, not Netflix, but the studio that works on JoJo, they said they're taking a little break after part 6. So I don't know how many years of a break, but there was a bit of a break between 5 and 6 because part 5 came out in 2018.
Don't they need to have part 7 translated first and then released?
No, because even part 6 wasn't translated until now. Like they're translating it alongside the anime. Part 6 just got translated right now.
I thought it was released translated.
Yeah, I'm saying it was it was never released translated because I know because when I was doing research, I wanted to make a JoJo collection. Like I have like part 5, part 3, part 5, part 4 over there. So I'm starting to build it, and I was looking at part 6, and they said part 6 never got translated officially until now, and it's only just now coming out. So that means part 7 will come out the same time as the anime. Like they make a lot of book sales that way, you know.
That means we'll have to wait till they get the books like near release.
I'm guessing 2024, 25. 2024 is early. 2025 is realistic.
Yeah, so bad.
No, it's not that bad. Look at the wait between part 5 and part 6. It was like 4 years, almost 3 years. It just
but we assumed it would just never come out.
No, it's because
that's true.
They said they're gonna.
And think about it. If Netflix didn't take the chance on it, would it have ever come out?
Yeah, it would have, because the studio said from the beginning that if they said when part 3 came out, they asked them, the main producer, how many parts you're gonna make, and he said we're only gonna make them until part 6 if it's popular. Not part 6 came out, it's popular. I'm guessing they gotta sell part 7 to another studio, or they can just make it.
They should sell it
to who? To Mappa again?
To Mappa.
Or One Punch Man.
We got One Punch Man. Who's watching?
I'm gonna watch it. I've been waiting to see how they beat that wolf guy for a few years now. I knew it was a lost cause, so I had to read the manga to see what happens.
The fan animation was satisfying, though.
It was satisfying. They did a good job.
I saw the animation. That was sick. Yeah.
All right, then. Either way, that's our anime of the year. What is your favorite anime of the year? If you're not an anime person, hopefully this video got you interested in checking out some of these choices, and let us know in the comments below. So from myself, from Zayan, from Umar, who joined in with the cameo, and from Samir, we're the Furuki Bros, and we'll see you next time.